Hello everyone, welcome back with more questions from manufacturing industries. Today I'll be covering only page number 65. Page number 65 is one of the very important page in this chapter because they are talking about classification of industries, and each and every classification can come for 2 marks or it can come for 5 marks with a combination of questions. Classification of industries. So we are going to learn different categories, how the classification is done. The first basis, okay, so this is your first, on the basis of raw material used. Okay, so how the industries are classified on the basis of raw material use. हम कौन सा raw material use करते हैं जिससे we can divide the industries. So based on the raw material used, we can classify the industries into agro-based industry and mineral-based industry. With the word itself, agro means agriculture. Okay, where we use the raw material from agriculture. So some of the examples are cotton, woolen, jute, silk, textile, rubber, sugar, tea, coffee. So these all are agro-based industry where directly we are using raw material from agriculture. Now, what are mineral-based industry? Mineral-based industries are those industries where we use raw material as mineral. So, for example, steel and iron and steel industries, cement, aluminium, machine tools, okay, petrochemicals. So these all are mineral-based industries where we use minerals. So on the basis of raw material, you need to understand on the basis of raw material, we can classify the industries into AB and MB. Okay, easy. AB, MB. A means agriculture-based industries, MB means mineral-based industries. Okay, so simple way how you can learn. See, here if you talk about on the basis of raw material use, there are 3 alphabets which are used and one is common. B is common. So if we use MBA, okay, so MBA based on the raw materials, agriculture-based industries and mineral-based industries. Okay, I hope this will be easy for you to remember. Next, on the basis of role played by them. What is the role played by them? So first we have seen that how the classification is done on the basis of raw materials. Now we are going to see on the basis of role played by them. So basic or key industries, one and the same. And second one is consumer industries. Okay, so basic, what do you understand by basic or key? Key is very important. Okay, basic is the material or the raw material where all the industries they use. So that is a basic element. So under that we have iron and steel, copper, smelting, aluminium. So these are called as a basic industry because industries which supply their products as raw materials to other industries, these are called as basic industries. What are consumer industries? Assume yourself as a consumer. Okay, so whatever is being consumed, okay, the industries which produce the consumer commodity. Okay, morning you get up, what you do? The first thing, you brush your teeth. Okay, so toothpaste. After that, you have your bone meter or coffee or tea. So what you mix in that? Sugar. So sugar industry. When you go to the school, you carry notebooks with you. So paper industries. Okay, machines, fans, etc. Whichever the consumers what we use that directly which it comes to the consumer, those industries are called as consumer industries. So I have given you the short form for raw material, that is MBA. MBA, when we talk about MBA, it is agriculture based industry and mineral based industries based on raw materials. Okay, so this is our first classification. Second classification is on the basis of role played by them. Okay, role played by them. So we have basic industry, BC. Okay, first, second and third alphabet of your English. Okay, BC. B means basic industry, C means consumer industries. Let's move further. Third, On the basis of capital investment, kitna maine paisa kharch kiya hai, how much I have done. Okay, so how much I have invested on my industry. So it is divided into small scale, large scale. Okay, so the first one is small scale industries. The industries with the investment up to 1 crore. Okay, up to 1 crore means less than 1 CR is known as small scale industry. Above 1 CR of investment is known as large scale industry. It is very simple. So I don't think you require any abbreviation for this. So on the basis of capital investment, small scale industry, large scale industry, you need to remember one figure, that is 1 CR. So whichever industry which invest less than 1 CR is known as small scale industry. 1 and more than 1 CR investment is known as large scale industries. Next, on the basis of ownership. So when we talk about on the basis of ownership, we have 4 industries. Okay, the first 2 you have already learned. Okay, in economics, public sector and private sector. Even we have learned about the difference between the public sector and private sector. And then joint venture, cooperative sector. Very simple. Okay, don't go with the words. Public sector owned and cooperated by the government agencies. For example, Bharat Heavy Electronic Limited, or you have SAIL, that is Steel Authority of India Limited. Okay, so these are all owned and operated by the government. Okay, public sector is always work for the public welfare. Okay, their aim is to give maximum welfare to the public. Okay, their aim is not to make profit. They will make profit, but main aim is to give it back to the society, that is give maximum welfare. Private sector, we have Tisco, Bajaj, Dabur Industries, Reliance. These all are the private sector where it is owned, operated by individual or group of the people. So that is known as private sector. Their main motive is profit maximization. They want to be in the market. They want to sell their product at the maximum profit. Okay. Then joint venture. Joint itself, somebody is going to join hands. So that is word itself, like, it's very simple. Joint venture, joint sector venture. Jointly, it is by the state, individual, or group of individual. Okay, when the state and individual or group of people, when they join together hand and they start with their own companies, that is called as joint sector venture. We have Oil India Limited. Okay, so this is joint venture where, like, state and the group of the people, they have joined hand together and they started with the company Oil India. Then cooperative sector, owned and operated by the producers or the suppliers of raw material, workers, or both. This also we have learned in detail in economics. They pool in the resources and share the profit or losses, such as sugar industry in Maharashtra. Okay, sugar industry is one of the best example for the cooperative sector. So when we learn about the ownership, okay, ownership matlab kaun uska who is the owner? Okay, so when we talk about the ownership, we have P square. Okay, what is P square? 1 P stands for public sector. The second P stands for private sector. And then we have JC. J stands for joint sector and C stands for cooperative sector. Simple, P square, JC. Let's move further. On the basis of bulk and weight of raw material, bulk, kitna bhari hai, okay? So on the basis of that also, the industries are classified. When we are talking about weight, definitely it will be in a day-to-day life also we tell, okay, the bag is very heavy, or like, okay, my bag is light. So in the same way, when we talk about the basis of bulk or the weight of the raw material, it can be classified into 2 things, that is heavy industries and light industries. Okay, so you will see that these all words we use in our day-to-day life. Only what they have done, we are just using with industries. Okay, we use, like, when सब्जी भी लेने जाते हैं तो आज बहुत ज्यादा सब्जी हो गया, इट इज रियली वेरी हेवी. Okay, but we cannot call it as a heavy industries. Okay, so in geography there is a different meaning for heavy industries and light industry. Now what are heavy industries? Industry in which large machines and the heavy and the bulky raw materials are used, it is known as heavy industries. For example, you have automobiles or construction machinery. Okay, so these all are very heavy in nature itself, so that's the reason it comes under the heavy industries. Then when we talk about light industry, where, like, you know, we use a very, like, you know, raw material, the raw materials which are light in nature. For example, toy industry ho gaya, or for example electrical industry. So these industries are called as light industries. So on the basis of bulk and weight, we divide the industries into two categories, heavy industries and light industry. So HL, heavy industries, L stands for light industries. So I have covered only classification of industries because if you look at, like, you know, on the basis of raw material, you need to learn with example, with the definition, what is agro-based industry. So you need to know what is agro-based industry. The industries which use their raw materials from agriculture is known as agro-based industry. Okay, then you need to write the example. So if you, for example, role played by them, so basic and key industry is one and the same. Consumer industry, these are the two things. Then capital investment, small scale, large scale industry. Then on the basis of ownership, P square JC, P1P stands for public sector, 1P stands for private sector, J stands for joint venture, and C stands for cooperative. Then on the basis of heavy and weight of raw material, we divide or we categorize into heavy industry and light industry. Children, please do learn these 5 classification, which is very important. And tomorrow again, we will be meeting with the more topics and we will be covering all the industries which are coming under the agro-based industry. Thank you. Have a nice day.